When you've been injured in an accident, one thing leads to another. Your injury leads to treatment. Treatment leads to hospital bills. Bills lead to debt. Debt leads to stress. The advocates can help relieve that stress. Having an advocate attorney on your side leads to faster resolutions, fair outcomes, and a peaceful recovery for you. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, it is Football Friday on The Monty Show, August 29th, 2025, and I am ready to talk some football. I am ready to talk about the biggest games. I am ready to celebrate the death of the Miami Hurricanes. I am ready for it all on The Monty Show, presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. You know, every single day we tell you, you can count on the Advocates. You deserve an advocate. On a holiday weekend like this, please be careful. There are a lot more people on the road. There are going to be a lot more kids around. There's going to be a lot more people on motorcycles, bicycles, scooters. The Advocates remind you to slow down, take it easy, be careful. But if the worst happens, make sure you are prepared. Get to theadvocates.com, who are ready to talk with you 24/7, 365. And it won't cost you a dime. No chat bots, none of that. You get to the Advocates. You can chat with a real live attorney when you need them, where you need them, and how you need them. And that's the best part about the Advocates, because they know when you're reaching out to an injury attorney. Maybe you got in an accident with a semi-truck. Maybe your neighbor's dog attacked you. Maybe you got hit while you were riding your scooter. The Advocates understand that because they've seen that. They've fought that fight. They have won that fight. Get it hooked up, theadvocates.com right now. They are ready to serve you. Let's rock and roll. It's football time, baby.
Let's go, baby.
I love it. And I'll tell you what, as a Notre Dame fan, bros, I'm ready. I have no idea if CJ Carr's ready. I have no idea if come Sunday at 7:30 Eastern on ABC, if Notre Dame will be ready to win a football game on the road in a hostile environment. And
Notre Dame, our mother.
In SoFlo, but I'll be there. My wife will be in the kitchen cooking and cleaning, which is, you know, what it should be on a football weekend. I'm ready. I'm super excited. I am. This game, I think for me, this is my game of the weekend. And in the comments section, that's the question I have for you today. Before we get into all of the games here on Football Friday, what is your game of the weekend? Jake, what's the biggest game that you're looking forward to?
I mean, obviously on paper, everyone's looking at Texas-Ohio State, but I actually think LSU-Clemson's probably going to be the best game, just closest, most competitive. I think there's a chance that Miami's really going to struggle offensively against this Notre Dame defense. And I think there's a real good chance that Notre Dame is able to really slow them down and kind of play a suffocating style of football against them. So for me, I think the most hotly contested game will be the battle of fake Death Valley versus real Death Valley. But, you know, I think there's obviously several here that are outstanding.
Okay, so give me your don't hesitate. What's the number one?
Well, the number one for me in terms of enjoyment is Texas-Ohio State. What do I think?
So that's your big game. That's
my
your big game.
I think Julian Sayin, I think Arch Manning, that's your headliner matchup. But I think inside of this game, I think it's the deepest game on the slate in terms of matchups, X's and O's, you know, options, which way these teams are going to attack. I do think that one of these quarterbacks is going to fall on their face in this game and disappoint. I just think it's inevitable with the hype coming into this game. So I would say Texas-Ohio State is my favorite game on the slate, but I do think that this LSU-Clemson game is underrated in terms of heated matchups.
All right, stop the show. Stop the show. Everything's got to stop. First of all, Preston, you're a stud. Break out the trigger, smoke some wings. I am with you on that, my friend. This is what I was hoping to avoid today. Okay, Oak State James coming in here. We're back. We're back.
Oh my God, Monty.
Stop. You're not back. You've never arrived. Yeah. Wait. Oh man, did you guys see Henji strained his groin? Oh God.
Oh man, Monty. What are we gonna do?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say that Haas Henji didn't look good. My mom would look good throwing the football last night against, I don't even remember who they played. But come on, man.
Circle Technical Institute.
Are we really excited about, are we really excited about Oak State football? Not James. I got bad news for you. That was not a great game. You know how I know? Yeah, I didn't even want. I have no idea. Did they lost? I'm assuming Oak State lost, right? I mean, yeah, hell yeah, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean, obviously, obviously. I mean, I mean, none of us were actually watching that game last night, right? We were all watching the, wannabe Mahomes, try to will his team back after a massively average ass performance in the first half.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Al. No doubt about it. This is an NFL game. Roquette, you don't get to be Roche again until they win. Roquette, this is a massive game. And I'll tell you one of the things I think is so interesting, and it's one of the games we're going to preview here on the Marty program. One of the things I think is so interesting is so many Big 12 fans. And maybe I'm wrong about this, and there is obviously there's potential that I am being a red ass. Am I wrong for thinking a lot of Big 12 fans are pulling for UCLA? I think you read our comment section, and I read my TikTok comments a lot. I never go on Twitter and read my notifications or DMs or. So I don't get much on Instagram. Thank God, you hyenas leave me alone there. But when I hear from Big 12 fans, I believe that the anti-Utah rhetoric running around the Big 12 right now is significant. Thanks. And I think there's a lot of Big 12 fans hoping that Utah loses. Mike Smith, your favorite team should be number one game. Beyond that, curious to see Florida State Bama. Is Florida State back? I think that's a huge question. Is Florida State back? Look at the number in this game. That
isn't convinced.
I mean, are you out your mind? 14.5. 48.5. Let that sink in. You have a 14.5 point home dog, and the over's 48.5. All right, so you're basically saying Florida State's not going to score any points in this game.
Nope. You're saying that Florida State's going to get dominated in this game is what you're saying. You're saying that this is this is like a 30, 31, 31-21 kind of game, or like 31-17 kind of game, and again, that 48.5, that half a point there is significant because you're basically saying that Alabama, what is that? What is that? 5-6 touchdowns. You're basically saying here is what's going to be scored in this game, and Alabama is going to score 4 of those.
So, Mike Smith, are you saying that you're going to pour some out for Florida State fans?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, I know that Mike Norvell has been on the PR campaign this offseason, and he's been saying this is a bounce back year for the program, and we know where this program quote should be. We know where we should be, and
we know where you don't have them. We know where you don't have them. That's the truth of the matter is we know where you don't have them.
Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very interesting. This is going to be a very interesting moment in time. And listen, I think if you look at the games that we're going to feature here on the Monty Show today, you start going through it. How many of these games have legacies attached to them? Because there's no doubt the big boy. This one on both sides. This is Arch Manning, Julian Sayin. I think this is for sure an indictment of Sark. I think this one right here, this is an indictment on Brian Kelly right here, right? Manti Te'o's dead girlfriend be damned. This is an indictment on Brian Kelly, right? This is CJ Carr right here. This is Carson Beck. This is Mario Cristobal, right? You start talking about Mike Norvell. What if Bama goes to Florida State and loses? Then a certain head coach in Tuscaloosa is probably going to have his knickers in a bunch. Right? Like the khakis are going to be a little tight on the way home.
No doubt.
And you want to talk about legacies. Kyle Whittingham's legacy is on the line.
Yeah,
at the Rose Bowl.
Any pressure here to win week 1 if you're the Utes?
Dude, I think there is incredible pressure. That's the game in college football anymore. Your teams are one and done. Every school, especially in the P4, you're one and done because of the portal, and that's just the reality of it. Kyle Whittingham had one of the worst seasons of his professional coaching career last year. This is the whole that happens again, he gone. There's just nothing to talk about, right? The pressure for him to go or retire will be nothing compared to his self-imposed pressure. So, yeah, there is a ton of legacy on the line. I mean, yeah, they did. How about Boise last night? Yeah. Yes. How about Rutgers last night?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, and Bailey, I'm telling you, I feel like Boise's in real trouble. They couldn't defend. They couldn't offend. They couldn't throw it. Maddox Madsen looked terrible. They couldn't run it. Their offensive line got blown up. Like Boise's in a bad place. In a bad place. Yeah. Alone on a game that they really should have won. And then you look at, come on, Patrick Mahomes. I'm Patrick Mahomes. Dylan Raiola is not a good quarterback right now. He is not a good quarterback, in my opinion.
Didn't look confident. Didn't look like an elite passer. Didn't look like an elite runner. Didn't really do anything great last night. You know, I mean, obviously they find a way to pull the game out. Obviously they get the win. Obviously takes this throw into the end zone towards the end to get it done. But I don't know, man. I think we have a lot of guys that want to be the best and want to be great. And, oh man, like I'm a really good quarterback, but you're actually not right now. You are just okay. You are not. Like, I'm tired of these guys. And this is what I'm talking about with Texas and Ohio State. And definitely some of these other games too, but specifically with Texas and Ohio State. Like Arch Manning, dude, if he doesn't look good in this game, we're going to have some difficult conversations on I don't even know, are we doing a show Monday, Tuesday, whenever the next show is. We're going to have some difficult conversations because the hype around this guy and he doesn't even hide from it.
Are we doing a show on Monday?
He didn't even well, it's a holiday on Monday. He didn't even hide from it, dude. Like Arch has always said, hey, like, dude, I don't know where people get all this hype from. I've only played 2 games. Like, so it's not really an Arch issue personally, but I'm just tired of the Raiola, Avery Johnson, Maddox Maxson, like, all these dudes. Like
Maddox Madsen.
Yeah.
I think the pressure is all self-inflicted. There are guys, and let's be honest about this. If you guys pick your favorite quarterback, Haas Hengy. I said nobody. If you look at a guy
Brown?
Seriously. If you look at a guy like CJ Carr, my guy CJ Carr. I hope he's my guy. CJ Carr. I mean, you're the starting quarterback at Notre Dame. Are you heaping a bunch of pressure on yourself? Because Arch Manning's not. And I understand that Arch has been in that system. He played some really critical snaps last year. That helps. Is Julian Sayin? No, he was on a national championship team last year. Like, you look at some guys are just manufactured to be in that spot. I look at the Bryce Underwoods. I look at the CJ Carrs. I look at some of these guys. The Maddox Madsen, I think, is a great example of this. Ashton Genty's not your safety blanket anymore, bud. Your binky's in the NFL now. And you look at the pressure that comes with that. I look at Ty Simpson at Bama.
Yeah.
I don't think Ty Simpson has any reservation about what he's going into, right? Like, I think Kalen DeBoer is a guy probably gripping a little bit. right? I just feel like there is a lot, in my opinion, that when I look at some of these matchups, I say to myself, man, dude, I think Kalen DeBoer, of all of these, I think Kalen DeBoer is probably in the best spot to prove a point. I think Kyle Whittingham is in the best spot to prove a point. And why do I believe that? Because they're both stupidly talented on both sides of the football when it comes to the line play. And that's what wins and loses college football games. I don't think there's any question that when I look at Alabama, I feel like I just feel like they should fit really well. And I think it is incredible that you look at people like Kalen DeBoer and they just don't ever seem to drop a bead of sweat off their forehead.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. I absolutely love that. Big Daddy Magic. Hey, playa, I don't think Notre Dame's going to Donald Trump country. What has that got to do with anything? And winning, I think you're going to Southtown with leprechaun ball sweat. Okay. Well, at least thanks for, okay. James says, how about USF last night? I mean, that's an unquestioned ass kicking. USF deserves a hell of a lot of credit.
Yep.
And I don't care if that game was played on neutral site or whatever. They won a football game against what was supposed to be a really good team. If they can beat either Florida or Miami and run the table in the conference, they should be in the CFP. I don't even disagree with that. Now you got to go and win, right? But
yeah, I mean, I think that style of play we saw out of USF last night, I think lends itself to beating better teams. I mean, I completely agree. You got to go out and beat those teams, and theoretically playing against more talented defenses. Byron's not going to be able to run the way he did, but I think that. And this is for a different day because it is Football Friday, but I think if you're a Pac-12 fan and you saw what Boise State didn't do last night, you should be terrified for the just the conference as a whole from a football standpoint, because if Boise State's not going to be good regularly, and again, I just want to point this out, the Ashton Ginty experience was a flash in the pan. Like last night was much more of who you typically are. And last year was 1 out of every 20 years, probably, honestly. So I sit here and I say, hey man, like we're getting a real good idea real quick of who people are and who they are not. And that's what I love about early season college football.
What's the biggest thing you took away from last night? I think without question, my biggest thing last night, I don't believe that Raiola is ready to be a big time quarterback. I know that they won, but he was not that guy. Mm-hmm. And I think Raiola is one of those guys that I'm going to be paying very close attention to for the entire season.
Yeah, because I don't think he's that guy. I got to be honest, didn't love some of the play calling from Dana Holgorsen. Like, it wasn't all bad, but there were definitely some times where I was like, what are we doing here? What are we doing there? Like, what was the thought there? Like, your guy's obviously struggling. Why are we trying to get cute? Like, I just, and I understand it, right? And this is the part that doesn't get talked about a lot, is even for the play callers, it's week 1, right? Like, obviously when you haven't been in the booth, calling the game, doing your thing, like, everyone's got to get those jitters out and get those butterflies out. But that excuse kind of fizzles out after the first quarter, in my opinion, or the first drive, really. Like, at some point, like, you got to get your stuff together. My concern for Nebraska is Matt Rule is out here announcing that he's going to be on Pat McAfee once a week, every week for the entire football season. And you guys are damn near 0-1. Yeah, now, you won the game, and that's great. But I'm tired of seeing, Matt Rule here, Matt Rule there. Like, dude, why don't you focus on being a 10-win football team? Then next year go and do Pat McAfee every week. That's what I don't understand.
Big John, Monty, Texas has 4 new offensive linemen, and 2 of them are going to play at less than 100%. But let's be honest, when you lose that was the best offensive line in the country last year at Texas. And you look at Calvin Banks, Jake Majors, Hayden Connor, Cameron Williams, and Trevor Gooseby and Brandon Baker, I think, are going to be two of the best linemen in the country. When you're Texas, you don't lack for offensive line talent. Experience, okay, that's absolutely that's a question. But they've got, when you look at Gooseby and Brandon Baker and really the rest of that group, nobody on an offensive line right now, I think, is better than 90%, because you take an ass kicking in fall camp on the offensive line. But I also think you have to look at the fact that you have a really good quarterback who gets rid of the football and can play make, and the Texas defense is loaded. I mean, all of those things, if you can keep Arch Manning on his feet, and when I say that, if you can execute your assignment man-to-man on the offensive line with a quarterback like Arch, that requires far less of an elite offensive lineman right out of the gate than if you're Florida State with Castellanos, or if you're Ty Simpson, CJ Card. Those offensive lines have to hold their man, and they have to really figure out who they have at quarterback. With Arch Manning, you already know who you have. That's not what worries me. I'll be honest with you. In the Texas, if I'm Texas, the thing that worries me is just how much depth do you have offensively? Because we're all talking about Arch Manning, and as we should, right? But I start looking at some of the things I see on this Texas offense. I just want to see a guy. I want to see them have a running back be the number one for the entire season. That's the thing. Like, again, the defense with Colin Simmons, and I don't even need to hear about it. What I'm worried about is I want to see Texas come out and establish an offensive system that will help an inexperienced offensive line, if that is even the case, because I'm not convinced it is. I think their offensive line will be top 15 in the country this weekend. And I think that's a very tall order against what I believe will be a generationally good Ohio State defense. I want to see them run the football effectively. That's when a lot of my questions and my concerns will be answered. Because when I start looking at the way that this offense lines up, I'm not worried about Wingo, Mosley, Moore. Those are three really good wide receivers. You're going to be able to throw the ball. You look at Jack Endries at tight end. The reviews are in, and they are spectacular. My biggest concern is probably the interior of the Texas's line. If we're talking offensive line, that's probably my biggest concern, particularly DJ Campbell. But I'm not worried about the tackles. I think Trevor Gooseby and Brandon Baker are two really good tackles. I think I start getting into kind of the minutia of what I think Texas is. And I think Texas is just a lot of what we already know them to be. One of the big questions about the Ohio State, you got new coordinators now. And you look at what Matt Patricia brings. I don't know what he brings. He brings some questions. I happen to think it's one of the better hires in the coordinator position of the offseason. But would you rather have Pete Kwiatkowski or Matt Patricia? Would you I mean, Texas, we know what Sark's offense is, right? I think we probably have a real good idea of what Ohio State's offense with Day being there and Hartline, and like Hartline's a pipeline guy. Like, I think we understand it. But when I really look at the matchups here, dude, I can't find a way where I'm confident one way or the other. But I'll be honest with Big John, I'm leaning Texas because I just think there's more stability there. And that defense, man, dude, they're coming for you nuts. Like it is. I think the Texas defense is terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, I think the point about the change on the offensive side of the football, or on the Ohio State side of the football, excuse me, with Patricia and everything, I think that's well taken, and I think that the expectation for me in this game is that Texas is going to come out and be more dangerous this year than they were last year. And the only reason I say that is even though Arch doesn't have a ton of experience, he is physically a better quarterback than Quinn Ewers was. Like, he can run better.
Sure,
He's got, in my opinion, he's got a better arm. In my opinion, Quinn Ewers was mature, knew how to read defenses, knew where to put the ball. But where I think Arch excels is the touch and specifically the deep ball, and he likes throwing his deep ball. And I think that when you're playing teams the caliber of Ohio State, and you're in tough environments and you're not at your place, you're on the road, like I think that you have to have that contingent. And I think that one thing that this Texas coaching staff with this group of guys, excluding Quinn Ewers and some of the guys they lost, obviously hasn't had yet, is the threat of RPO with their quarterback. Not to say they're going to run it a lot, but I do think that you're going to see some of that dynamic come out to where it's like, hey, Quinn Ewers was never, ever a threat to run, like, by design. He could get you a first down here and there, and he did that. But by design, you never really had to watch him. He was always just a pocket guy. And so that's why I say, like, you're right. Ohio State's defense is obviously legitimate, should be respected, one of the best in the country. But when you get into a game like this, oftentimes those 10, 15-yard quarterback runs, while all the DBs have their back to you, that little run to get that first down is oftentimes the difference. And that's why I feel like, for me, I'm also leaning Texas only because of Arch Manning's ability and the fact that they haven't had really any changes on the coaching staff. So it really should be the same caliber of football.
Well, in the part about the offensive line, I wonder, an Ohio State fan, I wonder your thoughts on this. Like, how much concern do you have for the defensive line? I mean, you're essentially replacing your defensive line and some really, I mean, just some really good talent going out the door. And you look at Tui Moala and Jack Sawyer. I mean, those are legends, right? And listen, Jackson and Curry, Kenyatta Jackson Jr. that dude's a stud. And Caden Curry, I think I really like Edric Houston at tackle. I think he's going to be a real contributor. I mean, you obviously you have, it's Ohio State. You have talent.
Yeah.
Your offensive line at Texas, I think, is less impacted than your defensive line at Ohio State, because they're also learning a new system and you're installing new starters. So I think there's some give and take there.
But what do we see out of Julian Sayin, though, right? With the offensive line? I mean, obviously, young quarterback because that's the other narrative, I think, in this game that's going to obviously play out is, like, does Julian Sayin turn into a guy who, and I'm not saying he's going to do this the whole game or he's going to look bad or anything, but is he going to have those 3 or 4 plays where he just holds the ball a little bit too long, being that, the pressure got to him, or is he leaving the pocket too soon? Like, all those little dynamics, I think that's why I love this game, because we have, like, there's layers to this game. It's not just 2 super experienced teams just going at it, right? Like, you have some experience here, obviously, but then you've also got these young guys at the helm trying to run offense and be effective. And again, to your point, like, how good is an offensive line with a new guy here or there, like, and a young quarterback like that? I think when you talk about, hey, what's the score going to be? How's this game going to go? Like, there's going to be turnovers in this game. Like, you guys need to be comfortable with the fact that there's probably going to be 2 interceptions in this game, at least, I would think, with these guys throwing the football. Like, I think there's a chance of this being a little bit higher scoring of an affair because of how good these defenses are.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Texas-Ohio State game could be bigger than the Natty, or at least rival it in viewership numbers, dude, because everybody's going to be watching it. Right? I mean, Bryce, I as much as I'm leaning Texas, this will not be a blowout.
No.
I mean, Caleb Downs on the field alone. I mean, he's arguably, it's him or Simmons, right? Like, those are 2 of the best college football players in the country. And I look at Caleb and I just don't see any way that this is a blowout. I mean, I think I love, again, I will sit here and I will throat the Texas defense for days.
Sucking a ding dong.
I mean, Anthony Hill, Colin Simmons. I mean, nobody talks about Travis Shaw. Nobody talks about, in my opinion, the depth of talent that you have on that defense. And Jelani McDonald, Leafau, their defense is just unbelievable from top to bottom. But what defense in the country is set up to not only tackle James Peoples, but then you got to run with Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, and Brandon Innes? What defense is built to do that, right? I would think Max Clare is going to have a lot of space, and it's just going to be a matter of, can Julian Sayin perform in the pocket against a really good defensive front and deliver the football? I just don't see this Ohio State collection of talent not scoring points. This team probably scored 31 points while we were taking a dump at the quarter break.
No question about it.
They're so prolific talent-wise on offense. And again, I love Texas's defense, I am a big believer when we look at these games, it's human to human, man to man, matchup to matchup. I don't see a significant differentiator across the board in this matchup talent-wise. These are two of the most chipped out rosters you're ever going to see. And I think when you talk about Jeremiah Smith, he might be the best player in college football.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not, Caleb Downs might be.
Well, most people believe he's already NFL ready. That's what most people are saying about him, is that he is now, with the development in the offseason, how he looks, the work he put in, that he's now basically an NFL player, playing at the college level until he becomes eligible for the draft. So, for me, I think you're exactly right. I think these kind of games turn into games where the talent obviously shines, but this is not like people saying that this is like a 31-17 game. You're out of your damn mind. This is, if anything, this is like for me, like I see this as a high 30s game. I see these two going back and forth. I see an interception here, an interception there. Like guys are going to be making plays in this game.
Fuck. If it's in the high 30s, Ohio State's going to win. If this eclipses 60 points, Ohio State wins. And I love Arch, and I actually think Texas is pretty deep at wide receiver. If Ohio State is scoring 34 to 37 points, forget it. You're with that defense and that offense, that means that Julian Sayin is clicking. That means you probably got a defensive score. That if Ohio State scores 38 points, Texas won't break 30. This game will not, in my opinion. The only way this game goes over 60 is if one of these teams scores 34, 37, 38 points. And if that happens, it's going to be a 38-24 game. I just don't see this with this level and magnitude of talent defensively. I have no clue how either one of these teams scores 38 points. I've got it 27-24, and I think it's going to be Texas. And the thing that I put on this game is I think Arch is more prepared for this stage than Julian Sayin is. Because it's one thing to be on the team winning a national championship. It's another thing to be the reason they won a national championship. Clipboards never made a play. Arch Manning had the ball in his hands on the field in big moments and produced. Julian Sayin has not. And this game will not eclipse 60. That would be.
Yeah, I guess
the number.
We just
you guys, the number's 46 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
How are you coming up with high 30s?
Because
That's
it's Ohio
wild.
State. It's Ohio State at home. They're going to score 30 points. Like they're going to. And it's the first game of the year. I guess I just disagree. I don't think it's wild to think that this game can be 38-35, 38-31. Like these two are going to go back and forth. And I'm telling you that at some point, someone's going to be down by 10. and a defense is going to have to make a play, and you're going to see a lot of aggressiveness. This is not going to be, bro. This is not going to be some hey, one team gets way out ahead and just starts running the football. That's not this game. This is two high-powered offenses playing two very talented and capable and a lot of times aggressive defenses. And it comes down to who's going to make the play. And my point is that, hey, we're sitting here talking about really talented quarterbacks. We're talking about talented defenses. Yeah. What are we really saying? We're saying that there's going to be a lot of playmaking happening in this game. This isn't going to be just an average scoring kind of game. So that's why I don't really like the 20 scores, because I feel like, number one, Ohio State at home should always be a 30-point game for them, just generally speaking. And Texas on the road, the expectations. So I would fully expect Sark to be getting after that ass early in this game offensively. I would expect Texas to try to steal the momentum early.
Yeah. I think you're probably going to bracket Jeremiah Smith and dare Julian Sayin to throw it to him.
Yeah.
I can't believe that Peter Kwiatkowski is going to give Jeremiah Smith any one-on-one opportunities, not purposefully. I'm looking at my matchup sheet on this, and I just don't know. I don't know that I have a matchup that fully favors Ohio State's offense versus Kwiatkowski's defense. I mean, I am in the college football playoff. I mean, I think you'll remember Texas's defense did pretty well against Jeremiah Smith, right? And I think because that's the matchup of the game, isn't it? Isn't it? There's no more Jahdae Barron on this team. This is a different Texas secondary, but I think when I look at the way that these matchups play out, I mean, if you have Jeremiah Smith, and this is that thinking I always talk about. If I have Jeremiah Smith bracketed maybe high-low with making sure my linebacker's playing at the right depth, what does that do to Colin Simmons? What does that do to number 11 for Texas? It gives him time to operate. And when I've got Julian Sayin in the backfield, waiting out bracket coverage, do I trust him enough to get off Jeremiah Smith and get on to somebody else? And we've talked about the plethora of talent at wide receiver. Am I going to trust Julian Sayin to get off Jeremiah Smith quick enough to beat Colin Smith and deliver a football to Carnell Tate? That's the kind of matchup I look at here. And I say to myself, all of these matchups that Ohio State can run, you're clearly going to double him. You're going to have a tight end and an offensive lineman, and maybe you're chipping Simmons, especially in plays where you're pass protecting. I just can't find a matchup that favors Ohio State's offense enough against Texas's defense to pick Ohio State to win the game. Like I want to, right? I do. But you're going to have some platoons on the offensive line for Ohio State. That fucking terrifies me.
It should.
Right against this defense. I don't love that at all. Right. And the thing that like in your high 30s matchup, who does that favor?
Oh, I think it favors Texas for sure. I mean,
I think at the quarterback, certainly.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, again, this is because of the environment that we're going to have in this game. I don't think for Texas that this is a big deal in terms of environment and dealing with it. I think they've been here before. They've played big games, a lot of them. Obviously it goes without saying, for Ohio State, it's a home game. So you're not, obviously this isn't a hostile environment. You're feeding off the energy of the crowd. And I think that, obviously the players got to make the plays, but I do think that in these games, I mean, hell, we talked about it so much last year in the college football playoff with Texas and Arizona State. Like the play calling has to be really, really good. And what concerns me is that if you're coming into year one with Julian Sayin and you're looking at, just going through that experience, he's got to play games, he's got to work on that. I just sometimes wonder, like, if you're playing one of the best defenses in the country, like, this kid's got to come out here right away and be the guy. And yeah, Carnell Tate needs to step the hell up. Like, it's time for you to be a proper, Robin to the Batman known as Jeremiah Smith. And I think that you're exactly right. Like, I would guess they are going to bracket Jeremiah Smith. How do you not? How does Jeremiah Smith have anywhere near 80 yards receiving in this game? How do you not completely just suffocate him? Like, you have to.
I don't know.
You have to.
You have to. And I think, again, I just keep looking at, like, one of the guys I'm interested to see is, because as much change as you have on that Ohio State offensive line, like, I look at Texas, Cole Brevard is probably one of the real wins in the transfer portal of the offseason. As a defensive lineman, I mean, he carries a PFF grade of 78, which is really good for a defensive tackle. Murad Watson as well is another one. And you add that to Colin Simmons, and you add that to just so much talent on that defense. And I just can't figure out a way. Again, 27-24. I've got Texas winning it. And I think Jeremiah Smith has every opportunity to win this game for Texas as long as the Ohio State offensive line holds up. Because you can only, and I don't care if you put the entire 11-man defense on Jeremiah Smith, you can only hold my guy down for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking Texas 27-24.
Yeah, and I'm also taking Texas. And I'll come to the middle with you just a little bit. I still think it's a 30s game. But I'll go 34-31. I think they both get there. I think it's a tight game. I think, I do think that Julian Sayin will make some throws in this game that surprise some people, and it'll be a great game. It'll live up to it. I just think that when it comes down to it, what you're going to see is that Texas is more prepared. They are more mature. They are ready for this game. They know the expectation. Because that's the other thing, too, by the way, that I think needs to be talked about. When you go out and win a national championship that very next season, it's hard to just ramp that same energy right into the new guys that you brought in. And I think that that's something that, not an excuse in this game, but just if you said to me, hey, who quote, should win this game? In my opinion, Texas should win this game. They are more qualified, more prepared, theoretically a better team. But, I would say 34-31 Texas is what I would go with.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how all that plays out. Brian for $2 says Ohio State will win and Michigan will be top 5 team. And crack is, you should save that money to smoke more crack. Delaric for $5. What's thoughts on Baylor Auburn? I look at this. Will tell me if I watch Baylor this year. Well,
for Wall Street.
I mean, Baylor is, I don't know. I don't necessarily think this is about Baylor. I think it's what's your thoughts on Auburn this year, right? I mean, Auburn is one of the unknowns of the SEC because you either think that they are incredibly talented or you think they're going to be a dog, right? Because I think Jackson Arnold's a quarterback that's got a lot of proving to do. And I think they have an incredible wide receiver group at Auburn. And I think they have one of the top 10 offensive lines in the country. And I think there is no reason to think that Jackson Arnold can't be a significantly better quarterback at Auburn than he's been anywhere else in his career. And that, obviously, I'm talking about Oklahoma. Because PFF grades him at like a 60, and that's not good. That's not good. He's one of the great unknowns. If Jackson Arnold is who everybody thought he was, Baylor's not going to be close in this game. Because I think Auburn is really good. And I think it's interesting that Walker White, does anybody know the name Walker White in Waco? Transfer quarterback. Where did he come from? Auburn. And I think that that's one of the interesting things. But Jackson Arnold holds the ball longer than Shedeur Sanders did last year. I don't know how many people realize that. Sacked 36 times, 6th most in the country. Their offensive line was Garbo at Oklahoma. Is it his fault? Okay, well, I don't really care. He got sacked 36 times, and that dude holds the football. So Baylor, unless he's better, Baylor should be in the game. But what is Baylor going to do with like a guy like Eric Singleton for Auburn? Like how much are you going to put there? How is Baylor going to deal with Keldrick Falk in that defense? Like you look at all this stuff. Auburn's got talent on both sides of the ball that in a lot of positions is significantly better than Baylor.
Yeah, and when your defense, finished 118th in coverage grading last year at Baylor, probably want to work on the defense a little bit, specifically the secondary. If you're Baldy and you're playing an SEC opponent that had one of the best portals in the SEC, and
Clearly.
there's a lot of momentum for Auburn coming into this week. And quite frankly, I mean, if there's anyone that needs to have a good year, it's Hugh Freeze, and the guy,
Wolf. What about Wolf? You want a coach that needs to have a good year.
Yeah, but the problem is all the apathy in Waco. Nobody gives a damn. If the guy's a 7-8 win coach, that's a good year apparently. So, I mean, again, what does it take for the Wolf of Waco to figure out or to not keep his chair? I mean, to not keep his job. Like, I don't know, but I'm telling you, if it's another 7-8 win season, he'll be there. And that's why I think Baylor Auburn is a tough matchup to kind of predict, because that's two teams that are flawed and have a lot of new talent on the roster. So it's hard to say which way that game goes.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Bryson Washington has to be a significant part of Baylor's offense. This game's at home. Anytime you're at McLean, you should win, or you should be favored to win. And while I have not tried to pick this game, this feels like that game where it's going to be all predicated on how Jackson Arnold does in his debut. I think it's better for him that it's on the road than back in Auburn. I think this feels like a 30-27, 31-28, and it should be a Baylor win. I am not confident in the Wolf. The
Wolf of Wall Street.
If I had ducats on it, bruh, I'd probably be taking Auburn.
Yeah, I mean the line is 1.5. Auburn's favored. So I mean, but again,
you're favored by 4 then.
This is my problem.
Baylor can't kick the football at all.
Yeah, this is my problem. The over-under is 57.5. So I mean, this is a game that's two bad defenses, trying to hold it together to win this ball game. That's what that is.
Yeah, I think the kickers of both these teams are terrible at kicking. I mean, didn't Auburn they only made like 50% of their kicks last year. Like, you got to kick that. Well, this feels like a 31-28 Auburn win. That's what it feels like to me. I could be totally wrong. Randy Riding, Auburn over Baylor in the mediocre bowl. I think we'll see. We'll see. KW, exactly. Texas O-line may get whipped all day. Someone fooled people into thinking just because OSU's D-line is new, that means they're not good. I don't think anybody said Ohio State's offensive or defensive line is not good. What I said was, don't go to sleep and think just because Texas is putting new names in there that they're not good. Because I'm telling you, their tackles are rock solid. The questions are inside. And with Arch Manning, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Because it'll be, we'll see. Man, it's all in how it plays out, right? I'm taking Auburn to win 27-20, D-Rock says. William Bailey. Okay, buddy, I thought this was an open discussion. What am I missing?
Who are we arguing with?
Who are we getting in fights with? I wish the bots would at least set up their accounts with a hot avatar pic.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, couldn't you do us a favor, bro? Like, come on.
Yeah. Look at that mountain, mama. Monty Show, Porky Pigging it. All shirts, no pants. Wow.
Okay.
25 months. You SOB.
Legit, bro.
Love you, buddy. Disdained rogue. We know who they are. They don't, and that's the problem. Okay. In other William Bailey, in other news, how about Boise State? Yeah, not good. Not good at all. Chad Perling, I expect defenses to be at offenses early in the season unless Boise shows up. Wow.
Not wrong.
So we're all just, you guys all dug a 6-foot hole for Boise, right? Like it's over. We're just going to start throwing dirt on top of them every week. Is that what the show's going to turn into? It's fine. Stadium guy James, Auburn will win if they can run the ball and control the clock. I agree with Monty on the score, but I have it Baylor 31-28. No, you're taking Baylor?
What?
I can't believe it.
A Baylor fan rooting for Baylor even though he shouldn't be a Baylor fan? What?
Buffalo Hunter, I want Baylor to win for the Big 12's sake, but Auburn has too much talent. 23-20 Auburn. Do you guys buy Jackson Arnold? I think we don't know who he is because Oklahoma's offensive line last year, you're Oklahoma. How does that even happen? I mean, seriously.
Because it's garbage.
How does that even happen? Toot Pants. Nebraska won virtual at home +2 on turnovers by 3 to Cincinnati. Good luck, Nebraska. Dude, I am not were you guys impressed with Raiola?
I would love to hear someone explain how they were impressed with Raiola last night. Oh, well, Monty, XYZ banana, red zipper. Come on, bro.
Come on, man. Yeah, they did throw dirt on themselves. You're not wrong. I mean, it was South Florida. Well, but doesn't Boise always start the season like this? Don't they always? It kind of proves how great Jincy was. The QB was superhero alter ego surrounding name was terrible. Well, I mean, I don't know how anybody could disagree with that at this point.
Yeah.
Because it's garbage.
If the Wolf has just another average season, does Baylor offer the Wolf a lifetime contract? Forever, bro.
A Wolf of Wall Street.
Forever. And he gets the hose.
See what he did there. If he
Wasikowski.
has consistency, he's going to get a lifelong contract.
Michigan wins 864-12.
Okay, man, I'm glad you're here.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Man, great to see you, dude. Wow.
I understand that it's New Mexico. It's at Listad, and Underwood gets an easy out to start. You better cover the number. And he better be the 87-star quarterback that everyone made him out to be. Dude. I think he's one of those guys that you really have to worry about. If he comes out and sputters, and I understand he's a freshman, now he's making all this money, and
I understand he's a running back playing quarterback. We get it.
I think he is one of the guys who is under an immense amount of pressure. Because money does strange things to people. And I think when you're making that kind of money, and today, I don't know how many of you saw that he is donating a lot of money to causes to help rebuild Detroit and provide for and I know we don't like talking about providing for the less advantaged. We're not allowed to do that in this country anymore. But he's talking about, he's given millions of dollars back to the inner city over the life of his deal. Like, he's got a lot of pressure on him. I'm not a Baylor. Here we go.
Why do you lie to us?
What the hell do their facilities have to do with anything? Is it because they have
does one thing have to do with the other?
Is it because they have a nice rectory? Right? Like, what?
Whoa, bro just said the canopy? We're now referencing the canopy?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not a Baylor fan. They do have nice facilities. Trust me, when it's hot, the canopy at McLean Stadium is essential.
What's next? The tarp?
James? You do you, bro.
Well, Monty, I rolled up to the canopy
and look,
in the Honda Civic, and it was great.
I know that you've got the electrode implanted.
Hugh Janus.
I totally get it. No. Agree. Jury out on Arnold. Well, since we're talking about quarterback questions, I hesitate to do this. Miami, a home dog. 49.5 against the beloved Notre Dame. National television, ABC, 7:30 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And now we choose violence, and we do so willingly because this game is going to be very, very difficult. And I don't care who you are. I don't care how you break this down. This game's going to come down to Carson Beck versus CJ Carr. And you and I both know goddamn well Notre Dame's defense is going to be great. We have every ingredient that you need. You have a Miami roster that is completely different. You ain't got no more Cam Ward. You ain't got no more Damian Martinez in the backfield. Now it's Carson Beck and Mark Fletcher, who is a behemoth of a running back. That is a big dude. And what I'm telling you is, I again go back to these matchups. Is Carson Beck a better quarterback than we saw? Or was he just made to look good by Georgia? Because he completed 65% of his passes as a Bulldog, which is a pretty damn good number for a college quarterback. And you look at his numbers. He threw 450 passes last year at 65%, 3,485 yards, 28 scores, and 12 picks. That's not who this guy is at the top end. I got bad news for you. I don't believe that he's a guy, Carson Beck, who can come out and carry a team. And I think when you're coming off of an elbow injury, and I think when you look at guys like Mark Fletcher, well, it's a lot different when you're the one instead of the two. And when you're the two behind a dog like Damian Martinez, because he was a dog, now it's time for you to step up and show us who you are, right? And I think you look at the way that a guy like C.J. Daniels has to step in and figure out how to be some dude named Restrepo, right? You look at the way that this offensive line has been upgraded at Miami. All that's really important. But I just don't see, Jake, any way, shape, or form that this Miami offense can compete with our defense.
Nope. And I think that Miami this year is going to have a fall off similar to Florida State last year. I think that Miami is a team that caught lightning in a bottle with Cam Ward. You had awesome talent in Restrepo. You had a nice running game, and all those guys are gone. And, stop me when you've heard this before. Hey, how consistent is Mario Cristobal building programs? Because, yes, he had a nice little run at Oregon, but this guy's had one season of success at Miami. That's it. He hasn't shown to be a prolific recruiter, in my opinion. He hasn't shown to be a year in and year out, guy that's going to be out here building college football playoff teams. And to me, I think you've got a guy in Carson Beck that was made to look good at Georgia. And I don't think this has anything to do with Notre Dame's offense. This is going to be a rainy ass game on a really rough surface. And this is going to be running the football a lot, which plays right into Notre Dame's hands, right? I mean, you've got this dominant defense that showed us they can hang with the best teams in the country. We were really sitting here wondering if Notre Dame should win this game. The question's not if Notre Dame's winning this game, in my opinion. The question is, how much are they winning by? This could easily be a 24-17 kind of win for Notre Dame. I don't think
I haven't Notre Dame 27-17 because I just think our Notre Dame's secondary is the best secondary in the country. And when you can just turn around and hand the ball off to Jeremiah Love, it doesn't almost matter what the quarterback struggles or doesn't struggle. Now, obviously, if CJ comes out and he's diming and dealing, you're going to keep riding him. But Jeremiah Love's going to get a lion's share of the action in this game. I would assume that he's going to be at least 45% of the offense on his own, both running and catching. And I think you're going to lean very heavily on this defense. And I look at Carson Beck, and I get that he may be more experienced. That doesn't matter when you're going up against this kind of defense. I think it is very difficult. And I think you look at, yes, CJ Carr is a huge question, but you look at that. I just look at this matchup man for man. Notre Dame's a more mature program. We have culture. I think you look at the tenacity on defense. I think you look at the ability to ride a guy like Jeremiah Love. And I think CJ Carr just can't kill you. Don't blow your own feet off, kid, and everything will be fine. And I really like, this is 28-20, 27-17. I think Notre Dame's defense is going to hawk the hell out of Miami's offense, and it is going to be very difficult. In my opinion, it is going to be very difficult for Miami to operate in any kind of effectiveness when it comes to scoring points, because I don't believe that Carson Beck is that dude.
Yeah, and I also think when you consider Notre Dame adding, Malachi Fields and Will Pauling this offseason, we need to see what they are. But I think, to have 3 wide receivers instead of 1 and a tight end, that could potentially help things when you're asking, hey, can this guy be our quarterback for the season? Can this guy not just end the game for us? Can this guy do what Riley Leonard did last year, right? Like, be serviceable, be good enough, don't kill us. Can he be that guy? Well, it certainly helps to add wide receiver talent. So I understand everyone's defensive Miami is, I believe they were number 3 or 4 in the portal this offseason. And everyone's saying, oh, Mario's a great recruiter and they've got a great team. Well, I think we need to actually see that play out, because it's one thing to have a great portal and, oh man, ton of hype. This should be another good team. It's another thing to see that play out. And I don't even think Miami, quite frankly, is the best ACC team playing this weekend. And that's why I feel pretty confident that Notre Dame, will come out and assert that defense. And I think it's a pretty straightforward pick that they're winning this game.
Yeah, I think Leonard Moore and Devontae Smith and the rest of that defense are why we're going to win the game. I mean, Moore, you have the third most, I think it was the third most valuable corner as a true freshman. William Moore, I remind you, was the third most valuable corner in college football. And that's saying something. And who were the 2 guys he was behind? Jahdae Barron at Texas and Travis Hunter at Colorado. Do you know where those 2 guys are playing this year? In the National Football League. So there's a real good chance that Leonard Moore is a guy that's going to be the best corner in college football. And now he's got Devontae Smith on one of his sides. And you look at the way that this team is built. It's the exact same team with the exact same issues that they had last year. You've got a phenomenal defense, an unbelievable running back, and no quarterback. And hopefully in Miami, when this game is done, we're talking about how Notre Dame's got a quarterback. And if that is in fact what happens, I think this is going to be a very rough road for anybody not wearing a Golden Dome. And that's why I said I'm not picking a blowout because it's week 1, but I feel very confident that you are going to be fine in Miami.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Irish coach Max Bulla has some dogs at linebacker. Sure. I mean, listen, Notre Dame's defense is 3 deep pretty much at every position. And obviously with the coverage, you can afford to be a little less disciplined up front. And their discipline is elite at the linebacker position. They flow well. They do not overrun their gaps. They don't play hero ball. I think there is no question. There is no question that when you look at Notre Dame, the strength of this team is the defense. And does that surprise anybody with the head coach?
No.
Nor should it.
Do we see the Marcus Freeman mistake in this game, if you will? The, the, hey, big moment, or clock man, the mistake that has plagued him once or twice a season so far in his tenure. I don't think we will.
I don't know that the game will be close enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
Honestly.
That's
Honestly,
fair.
I don't know, because some of the things that stand out to me is this is a really big moment for Marcus Freeman, because if CJ Carr flops, he's in trouble, because there's a lot of people around Notre Dame who believe he'll lose control of the offense and the schematics of that offense, because the frustration amongst Notre Dame's alumni is that we continually, under Marcus Freeman, have spent all of our money on defense and very little money at the quarterback position. And we are not paying guys in cash. We're paying him, hey, this is Notre Dame. You can be drafted into the NFL at quarterback. Sweet, I'm going to go to Syracuse. Thanks a lot. And that's not good enough. It's not good enough. So if CJ Carr flops, Marcus is going to get backed into a corner offensively, unless they go back to the college football playoff and make another run with a pretty subpar quarterback.
Yeah.
My hope is CJ Carr turns into everything that we all fantasize and strengthen forearms to. Because if he doesn't, and I know this isn't a revelation, there, in my opinion, I was looking at this last night, I think there's 7 teams who can win a national championship. Notre Dame's not one of them. And I say that because when you have an elite defense like Notre Dame has, that's all well and good. But your offense, our offense is not going to be able to convert on 3rd and long, because defenses are going to feast on Jeremiah Love on 1st and 2nd down and force CJ Carr to throw the ball on 3rd down. It's the only way to explain how you would go after this defense. And how does Marcus combat that? How does the offense combat that? Play action. You have one of the best running backs in the country. You're going to have play action. Is CJ Carr something other than we think he is? As a young cat, can he throw the football and deliver? Because he's going to have to be able to throw the football over linebackers, because you're going to anybody worth their defensive salt is going to fill gap on the Notre Dame offense with their linebackers. You're going to send dudes into the gaps. You're going to bring safeties down, because CJ Carr hasn't proven to you he can throw the football. He is going to have to throw the football over blitzing linebackers and in front of coverage safeties.
And at a minimum, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't just play, zone coverage against them and try to trick them before the snap, and just see what he has to offer. And I think you're going to see that tomorrow. I think, I think when you're playing an unproven quarterback, you're going to give him a variety of different looks and see what he does. And frankly, I don't want Notre Dame's offense to be backed into this corner, as you said, where it's just like, hey, we're going to run the football a bunch, and when we do throw it, it's going to be like for 3 yards, to the back and the flat or something. Like, I don't want that for Notre Dame, but the reality is that's the level of talent that you've allowed the position to sink to. So now we get to talk about, hey, dominant defense, dominant run game. I do think you've improved a little bit in the wide receiver room. It's not just Great House anymore, but again, got to see what those other guys, the additions, can do. And now it's just a matter of, what does the quarterback look like? Because again, why did Riley Leonard get away with it last year? Well, he got away with it because he was a gritty ass guy who was willing to run and pop some dudes. And he was a really good leader as a quarterback. Not a great thrower, not even, I would even say, a willing thrower most of the time, but he was a really good leader for the team. And that's what everyone pointed to. And that's why he got away with it. So I'll be really curious to see, is Carr the same way? Is he a great leader? Is he not a great leader? Does he completely flop? Does it work out? Like, that's what you should be looking for in this game.
Yeah. And I don't know how I honestly don't know how you overcome that. He is going to have to do this on his own. And it's what every quarterback goes through. So we'll see. I don't pretend to believe that I don't tend to believe that you can hide a quarterback long.
Right.
Honestly, I think at some point he either gets exposed or he lives. And if he lives, I'm thrilled with it. But my guess is he as the season goes on, because we have some really legitimate games, as the season goes on, I think CJ Carr is going to have to sink or swim on his own. Rock and rant. No troll. I think it'll be a close game between Notre Dame and Miami. Miami wins 27-17 late. You're not beating this defense by 10 points. You don't have the horses offensively.
No, you don't.
To do that. With a late touchdown to make it seem bigger, could some weather issues, which helps Notre Dame. That could help Notre Dame, though. I don't, and I'm here for it, Rock and Rant. Talk to me about matchups, because I have looked at these matchups in detail, and I don't see a way that you can, if you look into this game, and I understand that Mario Cristobal, I actually think he has done a good job building programs, but I think when you look at this game, it's going to be the quarterbacks. And if CJ Carr struggles, Miami's going to send the kitchen sink to stop the run. And that's the one thing that could really be difference making, right? I mean, if CJ Carr throws interceptions, fumbles the football, that just doesn't seem likely. Marcus and his staff, they pound fundamentals in practice. I mean, they legit work on ball security every single snap and emphasize it every single snap. They're a team that does the Peanut Tillman punch every single snap in practice. It's hard to see them, jacking around with the football in a rainstorm. Like, yeah. I don't think this is a blowout, but I think, and for those of you who don't know, when you go to Miami and play football, humidity is already a turnover problem, because you sweat, and then when you're out of perspiration, you lose dexterity. Road teams tend to turn the ball over in South Florida. But I look at this, and I don't see any way that this is more than, I think 28-20 remains to be the right number to me, because man for man, when I look at this, Miami does not have the offensive skill players to beat Notre Dame's defense. I agree that you're probably going to run the ball more than you're going to throw it. I am curious how well Miami will be able to run the football, because if you're able to run the football, that's a question. Everyone forgets that before he got hurt, Carson Beck was slated to be the number 1 overall pick. Now, does that mean anything? No, because they're pumping Pedo State. Drew Aller is the best quarterback in college football. You try to figure it out, because I can't. Carson Beck is not somebody who I am worried about with the number 1 secondary in college football, because that's what we've got.
Yeah.
And I don't know that you can even argue that, because this secondary is going to be elite. And it just depends on how much it's going to rain, right? Like, and I've been looking at the rain pretty much every day. And when you start looking at this weather and what it is supposed to be at game time, you're probably going to get a significant period of dryness. And if that is the case, it is only supposed to be partly cloudy with periods of rain, 86% humidity. If that's the case, if this game is played in the high 70s with intermittent rain, Notre Dame could win this game very comfortably. Because and if you guys think I'm wrong, please tell me. I'm not being a homer at all. I don't believe that Miami has the weapons to get over the top on Notre Dame, and they will need to do that if they're going to win the game.
Totally agree.
So, I mean, Miami is just replacing so many guys. Restrepo, Martinez. Again, I mean, obviously Carson Beck fits right in there, but no one is going to line up and run past Notre Dame's secondary. Schuler is supposedly going to be much more of a hitter this year, because they're just going to dominate. They're supposedly, and again, we've talked about Moore, and we've talked about, I just don't see how Miami gets over the top. If they're going to score 28 points, Miami, they're going to have to get over the top and get good, big plays. And I just don't see that they have the weaponry to do that.
Yeah, it would take a mistake. It would take a guy falling down. It would take a blown coverage. And Notre Dame's defense typically doesn't make that mistake.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. I feel like 28-20 Notre Dame is the right number. And and you guys tell me, I don't see a matchup that favors Miami here other than Carson Beck, CJ Carr. And if we didn't have one of the best running backs in college football and Jeremiah Love, I would be picking a very different outcome here. But he doesn't fumble. He usually does not try to play hero ball and bust everything outside. He loves running inside. Like, I just don't see a matchup that favors Miami. And I understand that, like a lot of people are, and I was listening to ESPN radio this morning and they were talking about, can Chris Ash be, a legitimate D1 defensive coordinator? He hasn't been, but we're going to find out. And he sure as hell's got a lot of talent. And he also, by the way, isn't the defensive coordinator because Marcus Freeman's the head coach. This defense will always play the way Marcus Freeman wants them to play. I mean, it's as simple as that. All right, let me get some of your comments. I have the Tarleton State Army game on my phone.
Man, wow.
Like, is it just Oak State James rando comment day? Mike's whoa. Okay. I don't care who wins. Catholics, convicts is good for the sport, and that's what matters most. I would agree with that. Chris Ash, new Irish DC should be interesting. Yes. Guys, enough of this Notre Dame, Ohio State talk. What about Bethune-Cookman, Florida International? Okay. Disdain Rogue. Freeman's from Tress. He's been doing what he's been taught. Ohio State won the Natty, beating Miami, doing exactly what I just said. I think this year Freeman evolves. Well, we'll see. William Bailey, CJ Carr is a bum just like his grandpa. Okay. No, but it's smart for Freeman to copy Beamer's formula. Okay. I remember how they slated Bud Foster to take over when Beamer would move on, but don't know what happened. Bud Foster. Okay. How wonderful would it be for Nevada to win?
Oh, man, just incredibly wonderful, dude. Man, it just would make my week.
If someone thinks Drew Aller is the best QB in college football, I have a house for sale in Waco, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, nice ocean view. Go read.
Somehow I don't put that past you, James.
24-20, I have Notre Dame winning in a rain delay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, if you guys think it's going to be closer, I'm open to the fact I could be totally wrong. I could be open to the fact I'm totally wrong. Mike Smith says, I'm pulling for your team, Rock and Rant.
Oh, you guys are so cute.
Okay. Thank you, Rock and Rant says. USF with a free ranked win. There you go. We'll see. I'm always nervous about Notre Dame. That's why I take my fandom out of it. I really do hope Miami gets an on-campus stadium. Dude.
Guys.
Hello. Jedi Buck. Monty picked Texas, so I'm picking Miami. Well, thank you for that. Sorry. William Bailey, with the Miami fan base, Notre Dame might be playing a de facto home game. We'll find out, won't we? Roybal, any chance for Pedo State to get embarrassed? I'm all for it. No, unfortunately. Unfortunately not. Carson Beck ain't that guy. He held Georgia back last year, and that was with a large margin for error. Well, they did have a large margin for error. Rock and Rant, the renderings were from John Ruiz from 4 years ago. There will not be a Miami campus stadium. We'll see, man. You can't keep playing where the Dolphins play, right? Like,
yeah,
it sucks. Oh, whoa. Another ridiculous comment about the Miami attendance. Ask Notre Dame fans about 2017. Miami fans are fantastic. It is. I was actually looking at cost to get in, and I got to tell you, it's not expensive to go to this game. And if I just do tickets, guess I could have done it on my phone where I did before. If I do tickets, Ticketmaster, you can get in on Ticketmaster.com. At the 50-yard line for $341.
Oh, that's not bad.
And if I go upstairs to 318 50-yard line, $263.54.
Not bad.
In the end zone, $300 in the end zone. Upper end zone, $205. Like, there's a lot of tickets available. And I'm really curious. I'm really, really curious. What will be the slant? Who will have the advantage? Because there are season tickets available at Miami. And I think Miami fans are passionate. I just don't know. Like, if I go to SeatGeek, I can get, for let's say a pair of tickets, I can get $177 tickets, 50-yard line, upper box. Now I can also get field club seats for $3,600. Right? I mean, you can get in for $300 or $3,600. Their tickets are available. Rock and Rant, I hope it's packed. And I actually hope it's a hostile environment, because I want to know who CJ Carr is. I want to know who CJ Carr is, dude. Like, that's my single biggest question. Who is CJ Carr, and what is he going to be as a quarterback? And if he goes into a Notre Dame crowd at Miami, we're not going to find out who he is.
Right.
And probably we're not going to find out who he is until it's too late. So that's the problem. They could go older rich in Naples. You certainly could. I'm all for Monty Copter 69 segment.
Hey, listen, I
broke a microphone last time we did that.
Yeah.
All right. What about this game right here?
Clemson.
Because I think this is actually a really important football game.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Is Cade Klubnik the best quarterback in college football? No, I'm serious. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in college football. And I know that that's probably not a popular take, and I know that that's probably not what a lot of people want to hear. But if I said, how many quarterbacks in college football would you take over Cade Klubnik? I got to tell you, there's not many that I would take over him. And I think that he's underrated, and I think he showed us a lot in the college football playoff, Jake.
Yeah, I think the big advantage for Klubnik this year is they have a ton of returning guys on this roster. I mean, they're finally in that part of the process to where, their guys, most of their skill guys and all the guys who matter finally have a year under their belt. So now everyone's coming back real comfortable and looking forward to doing big things, and there's expectations now and there's momentum. And I think that really helps a quarterback like Cade Klubnik. And I think, Cade is a guy that has arm talent. He's playing on a team with a head coach that's been to the college football playoff before. He also has the advantage of playing a soft ass ACC schedule. And that's why I think this Miami game tomorrow with Notre Dame is so important. That's why I think the Florida State game is so important, because we're going to get an idea of what he's got to face, as far as access to the college football playoff and what that competition looks like. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely think, if you look at situation, I think he's got one of the best situations in college football. If we're talking about pure quarterbacking, yeah, I mean, I definitely think he's probably, for me, definitely top 5 in college football. I think it's case by case when you're comparing a guy, but certainly he's top 5 in college football without a doubt.
I think he's top 3 today. obviously. We need to see what this looks like. My issue is he's just not accurate. And I know that I have a
Stay hard.
for accuracy. I do. But a stat that I think is terrifying if you're a Clemson supporter, Jesus Christ actually won't be on the field. He is the quarterback coach at Clemson. But he won't be, you're not going to play the
In
drop?
God's
Thank
name, image, and likeness.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
Thank you.
I bet.
Klubnik was more accurate last year, but he is outside the top 50 passers in accuracy last year in college football. And that is those who threw enough passes to qualify. And the other thing that he does that I think is a really bad habit, especially against family, LSU,
Brian Kelly.
you can't hold the football. And you cannot lock onto your first receiver. And he loves the one read route. Cade Klubnik loves that situation where, oh man, my guy Jakey Two Shakes is going to break off an in route and I'm going to put it on his chest. Well, that's all well and good. But you're also not going to be able to count on running the football until you can, right? Because you look at Phil Mafah, he's with the Dallas Cowboys now. Does anybody know who the starting running back at Clemson is? No, you don't, because his name is Gideon Davidson. And yes, he was the number 4 running back in the 25 class. He's not going, he's a true freshman. And you're going to ask him to start on a team who's, pontificating about how they believe they can win a national championship, which again, I understand God's your quarterback coach, but you got a long way to go here.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
I love a lot of what Cade Klubnik does. He's got to be more accurate. And I think Bryant Wesco is going to have the game of his MFing life. And I don't know that he can do that. Because you and I both know, as I have said on this show all summer long, LSU were the real Death Valley Reigns. LSU is not getting the respect that they deserve. I understand it's Brian Kelly, but when you have the quarterback that they have, Garrett Nussmeier, who could be the best quarterback in college football, and they have the talent that they have, and A.J. Halsey, Mansour Delaney from Virginia Tech, well, they're both on that LSU defense now. And you look at the fact that the thing you worry about with Garrett Nussmeier is he's overconfident in his arm. He loves to try and fit his balls into small windows.
His balls.
And sometimes they get caught on the windowsill, which is not enviable. You look at the fact that he attempted 94 tight window throws, and he completed 19 of them. Let me break it down for you. That's not good. That's not good, right? He is the thing that he does really well is he's going to throw the ball wherever the ball needs to be thrown. Deep, short, long throw across the field, opposite hash. He can make every single throw. You love him for that. You love the fact that only Jackson Dart attempted more deep passes last season than Nussmeier. He's got a 2.67 time to release in the pocket. I said 2.67 seconds gone. Why is he able to do that, though? Because he's got elite wide receiver talent. He is throwing the football to dudes that just eat. That's what they do. And when I look at this team, my biggest question is, can Brian Kelly have a defense live up to the expectation? And I think it's a big question. Do you in a serious conversation, leave Manti Te'o's never dead, but he was a guy girlfriend out of this? Do you believe in Brian Kelly as a head coach?
No, I don't. I think that one of the worst stats this particular week for Brian Kelly is that he's yet to win in week 1 in his tenure with LSU. And,
USC
I think
last year.
Yeah, and I think one of the hardest parts about the college football playoff era that we're coming to understand is that getting off to a fast start is incredibly valuable. Now, it's not to say if you lose in week 1, you can't come back and still go to the CFP, because clearly we've seen that that's possible. But getting off to 1-0 is really, really crucial, especially when you're playing in the SEC. And I think that Brian Kelly is a guy that is good at recruiting, is solid in a lot of areas, but just he is that classic guy in sports that just can't quite put it all together. And for me, what I struggle with is like, you're talking about Nussmeier being able to make every throw. The guy's also got twice as many interceptions as Klubnik did last year. And he's got 400 more yards, 4,000 yard passer. So clearly LSU's offense with Nussmeier and Brian Kelly is an offense that goes down the field, takes some risk, tries to hit the big play. And when they do, they're going to win that ball game.
Yeah, but they got to run the football too. I mean, Caden Durham is a guy that they've got to feed him. And I think early on they're going to really have trouble running the ball. Clemson is so good up front. And they bend face masks up there, dude. Like they are. I think this will be like the first 3 drives for LSU. I think Durham's going to be like 1 yard, -2 yards, 5 yards, -3 yards. Like it's going to be tough. And I think you're going to have to stick with the run. I think they know that Durham's 1,000-yard rusher. He gave him 753 last year, and they did not commit to run the football almost at all. And I think they need to give him more opportunities to help them win this game, because I do worry about Cade Klubnik extending drives. He is obviously Cade's a guy that can really throw the football.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody talks about the fact he's a really good runner and a capable runner.
And very opportunistic. He does make good decisions in that part of his game.
Yeah. I look at this man for man. I don't think that there's ever more than a 7-point gap in this game. I think this game will be a 1-score game all the way down. So who's going to turn it over and who's not? And I think if LSU will commit to running the football, it still won't be enough. I think Clemson's going to win the game. I don't trust this defense, Brian Kelly's defense. I just don't. I think Brian Kelly's defenses have a terrible habit of just not doing enough, especially in critical situations. And I think Blake Baker is a good defensive coordinator, and I think he's paid really well. This defense needs to step up, and Dave, you've got to come to play now. Like this is a game. If you win this game, you're well on your way to competing for a national championship, because you will be confident, you will be able to compete and run in any stadium in the SEC on the road, and it's already impossible to win in Death Valley. LSU can go to any stadium and win on the road if they can go to Clemson and win. And I just don't think they can. I think it's 27-24. I think Clemson will win the game.
Yeah, and I have a similar game. I think there's a little more scoring because Nussmeier is going to throw an interception in this game. I have it 31-27 Clemson, and I do think that this game here to me is probably just as competitive, just as much heat, just as much fire as Texas and Ohio State. I think this game and Texas and Ohio State are my 2 favorite games of the day as far as just pure football.
And I think Tom Allen is a guy, and you guys probably don't know who that is. He's the defensive coordinator at Clemson. Where'd he come from? He came from the Pedo State, and that was a really good defense. And I understand first-year defensive coordinators tend to get off to a slow start. He's got a lot of talent, and my feeling is that this can be a really close game. I am not at all confident in my pick. This is my least confident pick of the night.
Really?
And yeah, because I just don't know what family's going to have on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know what LSU's got all the talent in the world, man. Like, they had a phenomenal portal. Again, I think they were an 81 last year. I think they were ranked 63rd in defense. They need to be in the upper 40s, or high 30s, 41 to 38 at the end of, if 6 months from now, right? August, September, October, November, December, 4 months from now, if they're in the high 30s defensively in the country, this team's probably going to play for a national championship.
Yeah.
I mean, that God's honest truth. I mean, it just, they have the schedule to win the SEC. And I just don't know. I don't know that this defense is good enough. I don't. And I know that sounds like me. I'm kind of being a jerk, but I understand on paper LSU's defense looks like a killer. And I think this is one of the underrated teams in college football. And I just can't bring myself to pick a Brian Kelly defense on the road at Clemson the start of season.
Yeah, I don't think you're alone in that.
I mean, 18 new dudes, phenomenal portal. And I just don't know. I mean, they had a great camp. All the new guys were standouts, right? I mean, Mansour Delaney, I'm telling you, he is just unbelievable. He has had they're saying that he's a transfer. He was their best defensive player in camp. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Bad thing. You
like
can't
Bernard
have your
Gooden
transfers being the best players in camp.
Bernard Gooden from USF has been dominant in camp, right? Like AJ, and nobody's surprised about AJ Halsey, right? I mean, that kid at New Mexico was unbelievable. But they're all at LSU, and they're all playing high level of football in an SEC defense, and they ain't even played a snap yet. And that to me says, well, who are they replacing? So I'm leaning. I really don't have confidence in this pick at all. I could easily see LSU winning this game by 10 points. Somebody's scoring a defensive touchdown, in my opinion, and I can't see Nussmeier making that mistake. I just think he's too good. That's a cat that's in the Heisman race. Those guys generally right out of the gate don't fuck it up just day one, right? Like we've seen Heisman guys. You look at the guys who've won the Heisman Trophy under center, they are good right out the gate.
Yes.
And just boom, right down the field. I think that's what Nussmeier's going to be. What's this defense going to be? It just doesn't math to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, right? Like it just.
I just think that Nussmeier is a gunslinger. There's no way around it. And I think, playing that style of football, first of all, I love quarterbacks like that, but there's risk involved in that. And again, when you're on the road in what is guaranteed to be a hostile environment, turning the football over is never a good thing. And I'm telling you, you can book him down for a turnover tomorrow. He will throw an interception at some point tomorrow. And that will ultimately be much like the Boise State USF game. That will ultimately be where this game turns. And if you go back and watch the USC game, it was a similar story. And I just think that Clemson has, for the first time, and I would say, respectfully, probably 4 seasons, there's actual expectations with Clemson. And Dabo has finally sort of migrated into, more of this, embracing the portal more, understanding it, obviously embracing NIL. And so I think you're starting to see him make progress. And again, it's not that they just had some prolific portal, but a lot of their guys came back. So again, much like Texas and Ohio State. This is, hey, team in Clemson that's got all their boys and they're ready to go.
Yeah.
And a team in LSU quarterback and a guy that for most seasons underachieves and as head coach, and they're trying to go out and win the SEC. So I don't think you can reliably pick LSU. And I'm not that nervous that LSU is capable of winning this ball game. I think they're capable of keeping it close and competitive and being in it. But when you talk about winning the game, I just don't think they're that team in week 1.
Yeah, we'll see. I am not at all confident. And again, this is just me. I am not at all confident in this pick. And I really want to pick LSU to win this game because I think it'd be transformative. And I'm taking Clemson 27-24. That's just how I feel about it. And we'll see. I don't know. I think that's just where I come down at. Let's get your comments on it. Let's see. Stadium Guy James. LSU has a difficult away schedule at Alabama, Vandy, Ole Miss, Oklahoma. That's not a difficult schedule. I think they're 47th in the country in strength of schedule. I think Alabama's the tough game. Ole Miss is going to take a step back. Vandy's going to take a step back, and Oklahoma's not going to be good. So, D-Rock Irish, Clemson's first game serving alcohol being the LSU game. I've seen that in a couple places. William Bailey, so Monty, you're more confident in Texas winning? I am. That's a quarterback game. Like I'm looking at a Texas defense. Like I can see the matchups and how they're going to play out in Texas, Ohio State, right? Yeah. Like I see Pete Kwiatkowski. He's got the horses in the secondary. They're elite up front. Okay. He's an elite in-game adjustment guy. Arch has more experience. Close game on the road at the house. I can lean Texas. When I look at LSU and Clemson, everything tells me analytically to take LSU. I don't believe in Brian Kelly's defense. And I agree with Jake. He's dog shit in openers. Yeah. They should have walked away from SC last year and couldn't make plays.
Yep.
And look what SC turned out to be, right? More pressure on LSU because a loss here would hurt them more than a Clemson because of scheduling. No
Without
question.
a doubt.
No question. I agree. So, Wasikowski, so Monty hasn't been reading my Michigan. I sent him on Twitter. Dude, I don't read Twitter notifications.
Yeah, and that's not unique to you, so don't try to play the victim card.
Yeah, I'm not singling you out. I don't read Twitter notifications. I love y'all, and I appreciate all 9,000 of you watching the show on Twitter today, right now. And if I look at all 13,981 of you who've watched the show on Twitter today, love every one of you professionally. I'm not reading your notifications. I mean, I'm just not. Your life, trust me when I say your life gets better. It gets better. Send shirtless vids like BDM.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way to earn your way onto the show, dude. You know?
Has BDM sent me a video at all today?
Yeah, did we get a fresh video submission from BDM?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boy.
We did.
Oh, boy.
Ohio State.
Okay. Oh, dear.
Ohio State.
Hey, player. Nebraska versus Cincinnati. You know Cincinnati, WKRP. But hey, player, I love this ESPN app because I don't like cable. I don't like Comcast. Now listen, player. The only bad thing is Travis Kelce's on the game, Twinkie Pussy herself's on the game, and Kermit the Frog Dick's on the game. Why do they have to be everywhere? Why can't they go missing?
Yeah.
And I hope Donald Trump cancels the World Series this year. The World Series is like cursive algebra. We don't need it. Get rid of it.
Yeah, we don't need
Make
math.
America great. Enjoy your football.
Yeah, like, hey, come on, man. Why we got to play that? And that is, thankfully, it's very dark, so that I don't have to see BDM. I don't have to see BDM nude, because that was a nude that he sent. But he sent me another one.
Hey, player. Notre Dame Nebraska just picked off the ball with less than a minute to win and beat WKRP in Cincinnati. But hey, player, Notre Dame goes down to Miami. That's in Florida.
Thank you.
Florida. You know what
I
I'm
had no
talking
idea.
about.
I had no idea.
Flag boys, Donald J. Trump, player. Donald J. Trump.
See, like, what has that got to do with anything, bro? And he sent me a more food, though.
Hey, player. It's Friday before Labor Day. Rally around the flag, play. But look what I got. I got a steak chalupa.
Is that Taco Bell?
And grande. This is not right.
Okay.
Hey, player.
Do you guys see what I go through?
What is happening?
He's going to light somebody up because they didn't give him his food right. And that's how the video's going to end. That's how the video ends, bro. Are you kidding me? That's anticlimactic.
Yeah, that's some average material, BDM. I gotta tell you, bro. Victor,
I need an update on
better
that.
job.
BDM lives rent free in Monty's mind.
Victor's the way.
Okay, he probably does. If you offer to take a video and send it, you might be able to get a staffer out there to pay your ticket fare. Could be. Did I hear Twinkle? You did. I thought he said Twinkie. I think he's
Twinkie. I mean, it's all the same,
Do we need America's most hated nuptial announcement on the college football game? It's bad enough I get Dylan Raiola. Like, shut up.
What are we doing?
Twinkies ain't been the same since the strike. My wife, we were walking through Harmon's the other night. There was a trifecta. You don't eat Twinkies, you guys. It's zingers.
Zingers.
First of all, much like what James has in the,
Hugh Janus.
a zinger. But you know what I saw for the first time in a long time? Snowballs. You guys remember snowballs? Do you guys understand all this shit is just the same thing, just shaped different with pretty much the same sugar topped on it?
Who cares? It's all different.
Ho-hos or ding-dongs, same thing. Wait, is that Eric? That explains so much if true. That's not Eric.
Yeah, is BDM doubling as Eric Wasikowski?
BDM needs an intervention. You ain't wrong.
I mean, I have to admit that dude has been going out a lot, dude. Like, we've had, like spicy chicken sandos.
He eats out every day.
Bro.
Hey, playa. So my wife can't go to the Cubs playoffs, and Jake has already said he won't go. So, Greg, I might have an extra Chicago Cubs playoff ticket. Oh, wait, we're not going to the playoffs. Never mind. We're about to get swept in Colorado. How bad can it be? You know what really pisses me off? Even worse than that? I can't watch the games because of blackouts.
That's what fucking ticks me the fuck off.
Why? Hey, playa, might want to try a few salads for the health. You might want to.
James, dude, how many times do we need to talk about this, bro?
What?
James just sent in a video submission. Do we want this for the show?
God damn it.
Andy's wearing a Cowboys shirt? Dude, bro, you can't be a Chiefs fan and a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, I can't watch the game tonight. Might listen on the radio. Just take a night off. Take a night off. Oh, look at that. Tony Barber. Anthony, where you been? Hey, Monty. Who's ready for week one? This guy. Are you guys going to a game this weekend? Jake's going to Oregon. And I am going to no, I'm not. I was going to lie and make something up, but Bryce Martin, brother, how are the Cubs getting swept by the Rockies? I don't want to talk about it.
Because the Cubs are playing crappy ass baseball and the Rockies are playing good baseball for once in their life.
We went to San Francisco and got absolutely shellacked by the Giants. One of the worst teams in baseball. Only if Oak State James is shirtless.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Brother, how are the Cubs getting? They will. Twinkle, How Hoa, and Cranberry. Okay. You do you. Who said something about snowballs? Oh, Eric Wasikowski prefers snowballs. Food rant, anytime they get your order wrong. I remember a few years back when the McDonald's got Marty's order wrong on the way to Vegas. Oh, my God. Like, I just don't understand how you screw it up. How do you screw it up?
I mean, it's a really reasonable question because I don't know either.
I don't understand it. Anthony said, been hiking, enjoying the summer. No, I know Jake is going to become a diehard Duck fan for life. He is Duck season.
Right. You know, that's me.
You know,
just doubling his Duck season.
Make Jake wear Monty Show merch at the Oregon game. You should. Probably doesn't have any. Tigers got swept by the A's, right? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? James, but deep dish pizza is comfort food. If the Cubs lose, go get pizza. You'll feel better. No, I won't. Dude, the Cubs are life for me. It is. I'm on a different level when it comes. The Cubs, I'm not going to go down the road of Oak State James pissed me off. I'm not going to talk about how bad my sports fandom is. I'm not doing it. I know at least 20 people that are Cowboys fans until they revert back to form. Then they love Patty Mahomes. Exactly. Call him Oak State James. Like, anyway, Venzer. Junk food like Twinkies, Ho-Hos, and crumble cookies are poison to your body. Amen to that. Amen to that. Jake is going to fall in love with a top shelf chronic Autzen Stadium. Gang green.
Mm-hmm.
Autzen's one of the best home field advantages in the West.
Okay, do we want to give James's video submission a chance here? Or should we just ignore it? What do you think?
Play it on your phone. Just hold it up. Turn your microphone up. Play it on your phone.
All right, here we go.
I look great in blue. I also look good in purple, too. Hey, if you're going to play videos, at least show somebody who looks good, because I look great in blue.
Did you just say Big Daddy Magic was ugly?
Hey, if you're going to play videos, at least show somebody who looks good.
Bro.
Did you just call Big Daddy Magic ugly?
I mean, you just called him a fat ass for no reason, dude. And there's no reason to do that, dude.
You have no idea that you're gonna start a war with Big Daddy Magic that you can't win.
Yeah, I don't think you want to go to war with BDM, dude.
I'm gonna say you don't want to go to war with BDM. I'm gonna say that's not ideal in your life.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not. It's probably not good for your health. Not that your health is real good, but
no,
just
that's
like
not
overall.
what you said, James. That's not what you said.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. My wife. I never said my wife was ugly. I said she was a Walmart manager.
Hey, if you're going to play videos, at least show somebody who looks good, because I look great in blue.
Brother, you just said that he doesn't look good. That's what you said, dude. What do you mean? What do you mean you didn't? I never said BDM looks bad. What I said was I look great. If you're going to play videos, at least show someone who looks good, meaning BDM looks bad. What do you mean? Like
he doesn't have an electrode stuck up his ass. You know, like, are you kidding me? Like, come on. You just ripped BDM. That hurts. Clemson wins. Whoa. BDM looks better in a red long sleeve Buffalo Bills shirt. Now, am I going to have to buy BDM a red long sleeve Buffalo Bills shirt?
No, he probably wants an iced out shirt now after those unis came out. That's what he wants.
I think Oak State James should be disavowed from winning Amazon gift cards on the show. I think when you go after a beloved member of the Monty Show,
how dare you?
Like Big Daddy Magic. Exactly. How dare you?
How dare you?
I think we can never give you another Amazon gift card.
You're out of your freaking mind.
Cow turd. D-Rock Irish, happy and safe Labor Day weekend to y'all. D-Rock, good to see you. I look forward to talking to the game with you on Tuesday. Bryce, how does this guy make his identity being an Oak State fan, but has a horny toad flag in the background? Ain't nobody care about Texas Crisis University.
And there it is. There it is. There's the excuse. There's the excuse comment right there. Look at that.
Texas Crisis.
I mean, come on, dude. Come on.
I have 6 p.m. group. Have to go. Hope you have a great. Hey, fat ass. All right, 6 p.m. group. See ya.
Well, if you're going to play videos, don't play fat asses on the show. All right, guys, we'll see you later. See ya. All right, we'll see you later. All right, bye. Bro, come on.
Should I just Instagram call Big Daddy Magic to make sure that he's okay?
Do it. Yeah, do it.
This is such a terrible
This
idea.
is a bad idea, dude. This is a bad idea.
This is such a fucking bad idea. Okay, it's ringing.
Okay, and we can see you on the screen. Perfect. Hello.
Oh, he's not going to answer.
Come on, dude.
Buddy.
Answer the phone, brother.
Brother. Oh. Answer the phone.
Wow, dude. Wow, bro. The disrespect. You're not going to answer the phone when Monty's calling you, dude.
It hurts.
Well, like what kind of listener is this, dude?
Do you think he's just passed out? Do you think he's just high as a kite? And what does it say? He did not answer.
Should we try to call James as a test?
No. Absolutely not. Buddy.
Bro. Dude.
Timothy.
Bro, dude, we're calling you. You've won the shirt. That's a total BS. You've won the shirt.
I was going to give him. That's exactly what I was going to tell him.
I mean, come on, dude.
Come
Pick
on.
up the damn phone. Like, are you serious?
Bro.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
The view on your phone right now is... Dude, man, I cannot believe he's not answering. This is incredible.
Just too bad. Too bad. I tried, you guys. I tried, and we even got more bots in the chat now. You know, go ahead and try me then. You know,
damn,
it's fine. That's really disappointing. I tried. That could have been an all-time moment on the show. Two pants. BDM can't answer the video chat. He's busy getting his pants off. Wow. William Bailey, BDM is having a BM. Okay. Chad Perling, NSFYT, not safe for YouTube. Probably not.
His cock.
Dude that abides. Again, hot ass.
I mean, you're really not even wrong about that, dude. Like, that's the thing. Like, how does he not answer the phone, bro? Like, how?
Hot ass.
Hey, Monty. Hey, Monty, you there, Monty? Monty?
I got the YouTube TV.
You know, we try to do things on this show, and
is there anybody else that you can call? Just for because it's funny. Is there anyone else we can call?
Who else am I supposed to call?
I don't know. I'm just asking. Is there anyone else you can think of to call randomly?
No. BDM must be too busy getting his 21 quota while looking at Victor picks. Could be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
The problem is he had the Buffalo Bills shirt. I was going to give it to him.
Yeah, but he didn't answer the damn phone.
I was going to give it to him. And it does. Bro, it's brutal. It is.
Like, we were about to make you the centerpiece of the program. You're trying again. Okay,
yes.
He's got another opportunity now.
I want it. I want to give him the shirt.
Okay, we can't hear it ringing. Why can't we hear it ringing?
What do you mean you can't hear it ringing?
I mean, it's clearly ringing, but we just can't hear it ringing.
Why can't you hear it ringing? Oh,
hey, there it is. There it is.
I want this so badly.
Dude. Come
not gonna
on.
answer.
The damn phone.
Help me.
Jesus.
Yes, exact. Help me. Help you.
Yeah. Like, come on, dude.
Big Daddy Magic, you're blowing it right now. Well, okay.
Well,
No, hopefully not literally. We all do things.
Damn.
All right, I tried, you guys.
I mean, we can only do so much, dude. You were just in here. You were happy to send dude a video about how Donnie's saving the world and, all this nonsense, but you can't answer the phone?
Yeah. Help Monty, help you.
Go play intramurals, brother.
I don't trust. Well, Monty owes a ribeye. I don't trust Jake calling me. I probably wouldn't. Must be buying those rivalry jerseys. Must be. Another Showgram derailed. Always on BDM. Monty, give him the O face. Oh. Jake doesn't even know where that's from.
Oh my God, just like that. Oh.
It's okay. BDM must be in Draper with Teddy. I've heard that. He's a hell of a wingman from what I understand. Cute pants. Monty, don't give him a shirt. Give him an assless chaps. Buffalo Bills, assless chaps. I'm kind of hoping he'll call me back like, I called him 3 times.
I mean, can people get him on the horn? Like, what are we doing here, bro?
Let's take it easy. All right. Prize Picks, the official daily fantasy partner of the Monty Show. Well, let's get you our college football prize picks. There's never been a better time to sign up for Prize Picks, you guys. Download the app, open a new Prize Picks account using the promo code Monty. For all my Dallas Cowboy fans, Dak Prescott's half a yard. More than half a yard. If he throws for 1 yard, you win on Prize Picks. It is the easiest. Also, Tyreek Hill, half a rushing receiving touchdown is almost a gimme in week 1. I think there's a couple that I really like. If we look at passing touchdowns in college football, Jackson Arnold against Baylor is 2 passing touchdowns. I love that one. I think one of the other ones, where is Julian Sayin? Some of Julian Sayin's Prize Picks, passes attempted 28.5. I think it's going to be a close game. Passes completed 17.5. Passing yards more or less 224.5. There's some bread to be won on Julian Sayin. And then depending on who you're not, how about Arch Manning in that game?
Mm-hmm.
Arch Manning rushing, receiving touchdowns, half. Will he score 1 rushing or will he run in for a touchdown? I have to think he does. Don't you? I mean,
theoretically should, yeah, you would think, but
longest rush 15.5 yards.
I like that one. Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
I like Jeremiah Smith less than 80.5 yards because I think they're going to bracket the hell out of him.
That's a gimme at more. That is a gimme at more. You think no?
Less, dude. Less. I'm telling you, they're going to shut him down, bro.
I think you got to go more. You got to go way more on that. But I love all those. I mean, I think there's a couple of good ones. Garrett Nussmeier for 2 touchdown passes, I think is a gimme. Jaden Mayava, USC, 4 touchdowns, I think is a gimme in a throwaway game. I think you absolutely have to do that. I just think there's so many easy ways to win. So many easy ways to win on Prize Picks. Download the app. Use the promo code Monty to open a new Prize Picks account. You deposit $5, they'll give you 50 more in free plays. You can play the entire football season on that. So I love it. I think there's so many equity plays. Chewy Gonzalez, I just got done with 5 hours of training, ready to get blackout drunk, but without a BDM public intoxication ticket. See, that's called playing the percentages. That is called playing the percentages. And I like it. I'm
really shocked he did not answer, dude.
It said he was active 50 minutes ago.
Gosh.
So maybe homie's just not active. I mean, am I the jerk that puts him on? Do I send him a message saying, hey, I tried to call you and put you on the show, your loss?
Yeah, you should.
No. You think I should?
Yeah, send him a message and see if that gets him to respond faster. Maybe that'll be what kind of.
I mean, yeah, maybe he
gets his behind in gear. Maybe he's got the settings turned off so it doesn't ring.
Okay, let's see. Yo, I tried.
Hey, playa.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yo, playa. Yo, playa. I tried to put you on the show. Where are you? Okay, there you go. I just sent him a message. Let's see if he answers.
Yeah, let's see.
I would love it if he did. That would be amazing. Mike Smith, tell him you were calling to set up a double date. Oh, you want a double date with him? Okay. I can put you guys in contact, but okay. Paxton says, oh no. Why do you say oh no, Paxton? Have Mrs. Monty give BDM a call. Yeah. She's got other things to do, okay? She's got a big girl job. Tell him you have his red long sleeve Bills shirt. Nah, I don't want to lead him on.
Well, no, he's not getting that because he didn't answer. See if he didn't answer.
Injury report before each showgram. We do. We do. Lopes fan gave the bots showed up when BDM wouldn't. Yeah, dude. The bots on this channel this week have been
prolific,
out of this universe.
Yeah.
Like it has been wild. All right, couple more I want to get to because obviously we need to get to the Utah game. So far, I've got Texas 27-24. I've got Clemson in a game that I am not confident about, beating LSU in a one-score game. I've got Notre Dame 28-20 over Miami. And now we get to Florida State and Alabama. And this is the game where, are you a Kalen DeBoer fan, Jade?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's doing a great job. I think that obviously, Bama fan wanted to make some huge deal out of last year, and I think most people agree that if fat ass Ward Manuel wasn't running the CFP committee, they're probably in instead of Boise State or SMU. But they weren't, and so they weren't. And, overall, yeah, I think Kalen DeBoer is doing a pretty good job. I think that as he gets more years under his belt, they're only going to get better. And I would fully expect them to come out and dominate Florida State, which is why I think the number is the number. I think that until Florida State shows that they're that guy again, I just don't think we have a reason to believe that somehow they're going to compete with a top SEC team.
Well, I think that when I look at Florida State, I just don't know how you are going to score enough points on this Alabama defense to win. I mean, you look at Alabama, I think they will, as the game goes on, I think they will ratchet up the pressure on Florida State. I think Alabama, we know what Alabama is, right? I mean, they are absolutely unbelievable on defense. And they're just one of four programs with a top 10 unit on the defensive line, linebacker, and in the secondary. You're the only team with top 10 players at every defensive position. This defense is going to be unbelievable. And on the other side of the ball, it's a complete 180 at quarterback with Ty Simpson. And I think when we look at the way that this comes together, you're really going to have to figure out, if you're Ty Simpson, how much is that inexperience going to limit you against Florida State? Because he is everything that you want a quarterback at Alabama to be. He's a true pocket passer. He thrives in timing routes and in tight windows. He is absolutely a dominant thrower over the middle of the field. He much prefers to throw between the hashes. He is awesomely accurate behind the linebacker. He has depth touch. I think he has great mobility. He's not a runner, but he's a guy that can get away from pressure. But I think the inexperience is a problem. And I think in a lot of ways last year with this offense, Jalen Milroe, his athletic ability kept them in games. Will they need Ty Simpson to be that guy? I don't know that they need him to be that guy. What they need him to be is not Jalen Milroe. They need Ty Simpson to stand in the pocket, deliver the football, and win them football games. But more importantly, deliver the football and don't lose them the game, because this defense is going to crush dreams. This defense is going to ruin legacies. And the truth of the matter is, I don't see any way that Alabama can lose this game to Florida State unless Ty Simpson throws multiple pick sixes.
Couldn't agree more. And I do think you'll see some shakiness out of Ty Simpson early. You know, you may see some bad throws, some bad incompletions, whatever it might be. But you know, I just don't think that Alabama. This to me is the most definitive game of the week. I don't think that this is much of a conversation in terms of who's going to win. It's only a matter of how bad Florida State's going to lose. And I think that Bama easily covers this number. I would not be surprised if, you know, you've got 2 turnovers by Florida State in this game. Wouldn't be surprised if this is, you know, a 35-point game for Alabama, you know, and, you know, 14-17 for Florida State at most. Because last year's team just was not competitive. And, you know, I understand that, you know, Mike Norvell's trying to, you know, sell this bill of goods that they've, you know, overhauled the program and they're in a great spot and they fully expect to bounce back. But I just don't buy it yet. You're going to have to show me that you can actually do that you're capable of doing that. And there's not a lot, you know, on paper that says, hey, you know, we're really good again. I'm just not there with it. So I just don't think that this is going to be all that close.
I don't know that I can agree with that. I think the offensive line is going to be spectacular at Florida State. And I mean, I think that I would agree on some level that when I look at Florida State, I think that this is a very different program. And I think when we look at what they are, they're not more importantly, they're not what they were last year. And I think that is really important, because last year they didn't have offense. They didn't have a quarterback. And I look at this offense this year and I say to myself, you know, like, I don't know how this can go any worse than it did last year. Tommy Castellanos is a legitimate quarterback that can win you games, right? I mean, he's a guy that is not the biggest guy in the world, but I like the comparisons to Kyler Murray. I think they're very similar players, right? He is a top 10 explosive quarterback in the country with his legs. In fact, I think he's probably one of the 5 best running quarterbacks in the country, Tommy Castellanos. So you have a playmaker at quarterback now. The issue is he is horribly inaccurate throwing the ball. And I think that a lot of times if you can make his life uncomfortable and if you can make his feet do odd things because you pressure him, you're going to turn him over. And when you're playing a defense that is as good as Alabama's defense, that's where this comes back to get you. Right. But with guys like Jeremiah Wilson, I think this defense is going to be better. There is no question about that. But I mean, this offense can't be worse. Florida State added 4 new starters on the offensive line, 2 70+ guys from PFF stand out. They also brought in pretty much an entire revamped wide receiver group, including Deuce Robinson from USC, who's a 77 at PFF. Like, they're going to be a different team. It's 100%. Is Castellanos capable of being something more than we know he is already, which is a guy who turns the ball over under pressure? And we'll find out. The problem is you're not going to find out against Alabama.
No.
Because Alabama is an elite football team. And granted, this is at Doak Campbell. This is in Tallahassee. I totally get that. But when I look at this game, I think it's a 31-17 Alabama win in dominant fashion, because this defense is good. And I think Ty Simpson's ready. And I think it's good. I just don't know how Florida State is going to score enough points against this Alabama defense.
It's going to be their single biggest problem.
Yeah, Mike, I think that's a great point. Yeah, we need to see Bama on offense with a QB that's more suited to what Caleb DeBoer does. I think you're exactly right. Is Florida State as bad as last year? No, they're not. They'll be competitive. But as this game goes on, I'm just going to continue to say Alabama's going to turn the screw a little more.
Just keep leaning on you all day, bro.
Because they're much like Notre Dame's secondary. You can't run by them. You need track stars. And I think the other thing is, what do we know about Alabama? You put Ty Simpson in the same field and you protect him even to 3.5 seconds, and Ryan Williams is open.
Yep.
And Ryan Williams is a guy that now is 175 pounds with elite speed and natural God-given body control, if you will. It just,
good luck.
It all sets up for a dominant Alabama performance. FSU could be the upset of week one. I mean, it would be the upset of the week. What about Syracuse and Tennessee? Well, that's a very interesting game. I don't know that, I was looking at Syracuse because obviously Angeli wound up at Syracuse. And when I look at those guys, I don't think Syracuse's offense is going to be as prolific as it was last year. And I think a lot of people would like it to be. I don't know how you continue to put teams together like this. That's the biggest question that I have. And I think when I look at Tennessee, man, I just think all the money's coming in on the Vols. They're a third. I think they're 15.5. It's down to 13.5. It's a 52-point number. And I think when I look at this, the Tennessee defense is so good still. Now, obviously, you need to prove the quarterback can play the position, right? And I think the problem is in a world where this game has been simmed 87,000 times by computers, Syracuse won 11% of those games. 87,000 simulations, and only 11% of those came out on Syracuse's side. I mean, this Tennessee's legit. And I think you got to go Tennessee win cover and over, because I just think they're monsters, dude. And you guys didn't buy it last year, and I was wrong in the playoff. You were completely right. And I think that it's going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be very tough. It's going to be very tough. If you like, one of the things that really stands out to me is Kyle McCord is not there anymore, right? He led the nation in passing, but he played heavy reps at Ohio State. Steve Angeli has not played a lot of reps, and he did not play in volume at Notre Dame. And if he was good enough to play in volume at Notre Dame, wouldn't he have played in volume at Notre Dame?
Yes.
In a pass-hungry offense, that's what I'm worried about. And I look at Syracuse defense. It needs to find guys that can compete at a Tennessee level, right? That's the thing that you worry about. I think the Vols are too good defensively to get into a shootout. And that's why I think you got to take Tennessee.
Yeah, and they're going to be bigger and more physical.
Yeah, I don't know any other way that you can go here. And I would love to see Angeli be something special, because he was very jaded at Notre Dame. I just don't know that he's that guy. Paxton, Monty, you like Auburn tonight? I do. I think Auburn's being undersold. But again, as we talked about, right? Like, I mean, the quarterback's got to put out. And
Wolf of Wall Street.
And listen, Baylor's going to be solid, right? I think we all know that. But like, I'm pulling up my sheet on Auburn real quick, and I think when I look at Auburn, this is not a tough equation, boys. Like, I look at Auburn, it's 100% about, is Jackson Arnold the guy we think he is? Or is he the guy we know he is? And until otherwise determined, he's the guy we know he is, and that's mediocre.
Yeah.
And I think if Jackson Arnold fails here, you guys, it's because of Jackson Arnold. And I said this earlier if you're just tuning in. Bro, he's got a bunch of Ferraris at wide receiver. I think it's probably Ohio State's number one. Auburn can't be far behind in the wide receiver room. Like easily top three, 2 or 3. And I go back and I look at some of the metrics on Jackson Arnold. Sacked 36 times last year on a dog shit offensive line. I don't argue that point at all, and it is something that I've heard repeatedly. The Oklahoma offensive line was totally. You don't get sacked 36 times because your offensive line. You get sacked 15, 16 times. He held the ball too long, right? And again, 31.7 passing grade under pressure, and was horrendous in play action. Rated a 45 in play action. Now, a lot of that was, frankly, he didn't get to set and throw. Like, hey, play action, tuck that ball back, step, and you're being pressured. So a lot of times out of play action, he had, I think, the second highest pressure rate in play action formation. So when he went play action, he was pressured almost immediately. So that back, a lot of times last year, the back had to chip a blitzer or chip a D lineman who beat the offensive lineman. So the back never got to the pattern. So he's automatically down a bailout. Okay, totally get that. None of that bullshit's going on this year because Auburn's got an offensive line and they have got an absolute wonderful, wonderful wide receiver core. And you look at Eric Singleton. I mean, he was really good at Georgia Tech. How much better is he going to be at Auburn? I mean, I have to think he is going to be a dominant player. And it's just a matter of, like, you look at Xavier Chaplin for Virginia Tech, the tackle, they're really counting on him to anchor. So, yeah, he does, Paxton. He needs to win.
Yeah.
Jake said that earlier.
He does.
Oh, look. Oak State has the 7th best wide receiver room in the Big 12. There you go. What about your guys at Baylor? Ribeye, you asking the Monties or the Peanut Gallery? Will you guys attend any games this year? Certainly. Absolutely. No doubt about it. Absolutely I will. We will. Whoa. Mike Smith. Yeah, MAC teams normally give teams a good match. Yeah. Oh, because Eric said Western Michigan. Certainly. I agree with that 100%. And it's just a matter of getting that right matchup.
Well,
and
any team in the state of Michigan is going to give you a good game. You know, they have the best football and stuff. So, you know.
Yeah, I agree. All right. And finally, my mouse is tripping, you guys. I don't know if I got to clean it or if I got to do whatever to it. Let's talk Utah football. And I saved this for the last because I think more fans in the Big 12 want Utah to lose this game than I've ever seen of any Big 12 team. And here's the big question. What should we believe about the Utah Jits? What should we believe? Is this as advertised? Is this a brand new ball club? Is this everything that we need it to be? Because tomorrow night at 8 Pacific in the Rose Bowl, everybody's going to be talking about Nico Imaliava. Didn't get $4 million, but he wound up with the Bruins, right? And I think Devin Dampier and Jason Beck are the reason Utah wins this game. And they're going to be faster. I think they are going to be dangerous on every snap, and they are going to be much, much better offensively. Now, you're going to have to have somebody in the backfield emerge. But make no mistake about it. This is the top 5 offensive line in the country at Utah. You have tackles that can start on any offensive line in the country. Spencer Fano is the best right tackle in college football. And did I mention Utah's defense is again coming for you nuts? This defense, and I like Nico's game a lot. I do. I think it is without question that he's on a mission to prove people wrong. And he better, because if Nico Imaliava comes to UCLA and flames out, his dad is going to be one of the biggest scapegoats in the history of college football. And I think this Utah team is the Utah team we were expecting to show up last year. There's no more scam rising. There's no more quarterback questions, injuries, rookie backup. Isaac Wilson's an experienced backup quarterback who's faced a lot of adversity. He's more ready than he's ever been. He wasn't ready last year.
Mm-hmm.
But Devin Dampier is a better thrower than anybody expects him to be. And I don't think this is a blowout. But I also don't think that Nico Imaliava is ready for what he's about to see with this Utah defense. I really don't. And I know that Utah is a touchdown favorite. I'm not buying that. I think that this is a 6-point win. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see how well will Utah run the ball? Do you expect Utah to run the ball well?
I mean, I think reasonably well. I don't think they're going to just lean on the run the whole time or anything. I think that this offense is going to be, I mean, just a complete departure from what Utah's been the last however long, the last decade, if you will. Like you're talking about an offense that is much more creative, much more dynamic, has a lot of different ways that they can kind of attack a defense depending on what the defense is giving them. And, I do agree that Dampier needs to do a good job of getting rid of the football. Like, you need to throw it away and not take the bad sack. I agree with that. I do think that, the Bruins defense, while it is physical, is not like, I would not categorize them as an elite defense. I think they're solid. I think they're a little bit bigger up front, so that can present some challenges in the run game. But I don't think, I think what's going to be different with Utah is if the run game doesn't get going, let's say they struggle to run the football, I still think they'll be able to find it in the passing game, which has traditionally been the struggle for Utah. But
do they have the horses outside to do that? I mean, obviously, they brought Ryan Davis with them from New Mexico. But Wayshawn Parker, I think, has to be the feature early on in this game, because Devin Dampier too much of the time wants to be explosive. And I think last year at New Mexico, I think his average depth of target was 12 yards. Like, his average target was 12 yards. He loves to be explosive in the passing game, but it leads to accuracy issues, right? And I think when you look at his adjusted completion percentage, 66.9 is 127th. That's not great. And the thing that you worry about is he likes to hold the football. He had an FBS leading 34.2% of pressure. That's crazy. That 34.2% of the time, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I think it's going to be very interesting to see how all of this comes together. But if I'm Utah, I'm taking this one snap at a time. Devin Dampier needs to find a go-to target, and I think he will. I think he will. But there's no question they're going to need him to be a true dual-threat quarterback to win a lot of games. I don't think there's any question that this defense is going to be incredible. I don't think there's any question that this offensive line is going to be incredible. Are they going to miss a guy like Keanu Tanavasa? Of course. He's one of the best defensive tackles in the Big 12. Well, now he plays it at BYU, and you can move on. I think, without question, their biggest need is skill position players on offense, and you've got to find a way to get them to emerge.
And I would hope that with that being the case, I would hope that back system is it's deep enough, diverse enough to where you can overcome some of that, because I do agree with you. It's not like they've just got dynamite in the wide receiver room, but I'm hoping that the ability to be good as a play caller, the ability to call the right play at the right time, the ability to mix it up, obviously Dampier's ability to run the football as a quarterback, those are all things that can help you keep the defense on their heels. And I do think that, when you have the caliber of defense Utah has, typically you're going to get an extra possession or two. So that's kind of why I would agree that it's probably not a touchdown win, but yeah, 6 points feels reasonable. I was going to say, 24, 20, 27, 24, like somewhere in that mid 20s range. And I just think that if the Utah offense can keep it clean, don't have just the awful turnover, you should be totally fine in this game.
Yeah, we'll see how good. The other question is, how good is UCLA's offensive line? Nico Iamaleava can't be the only guy to do it. And I think that's a huge question. And I don't know that they have the horses up front to compete with somebody like Utah. And I know that that's probably awfully optimistic. But when I look at, I think their PFF projected win total is 6. FanDuel has them at 5.5 rather, excuse me. And I think the biggest question here is, do you have a defense that has playmakers on it? Because if you don't, and I don't think they do, I don't have any question in my mind that Utah can score 30 points in this game. And when you look at the fact that they really lack a true difference maker on defense. And Nico DeVilliers has to be their best player. He's a transfer from Arkansas. He's a 71 on the defensive line as an edge player. They really need him. I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a 27-24, 27-21 Utah win.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I this is not a 30-point game for either side, in my opinion. I just think that, you like the Nico thing, obviously is a big story in this game. The kid's talented, but what's the play calling like for UCLA? What's the, what kind of scheme are you going to run with them? What are you going to ask him to do? Like, these are all things that I think make it challenging when you get a dual threat like him in. And I think that, we're sitting here, trying to predict a game with two teams that have new quarterbacks and one team that's got a new quarterback and a new system in Utah, but the coordinator and the quarterback are on the same, page. So it kind of alleviates that. And then you've got another program with, in my opinion, an upgraded quarterback, but a lot of drama and a lot of uncertainty. So I just, I just don't see if Utah is defensively who we know them to be, which I'm pretty confident in that. I just think that the offense is going to be such an upgrade from what you had last year. You really should be fine.
Yep. Big Blue Horses, a member for 22 months. Thank you, Big Blue Horses. Hello from the golf course. Hello. Tony Barber, the newest member of the show. Tony, good to see you. Hey, Tone.
Nice.
Chewy Gonzalez for $5. Oh, I read that one. Ready to get a blackout drunk without the BDM ticket. Yes. And then Big Blue Horses for $2. He even tipped us to say the same thing. Hope you shot it straight. I have not been playing a lot of golf lately, you guys. Like, working on the iron swing, yes, but I had so many other things going on. I'm looking forward to getting back to it. So thank you guys. Another great week on the show. As always. Jake, don't get lost in the forest for the trees up there in the great Eugene, Oregon.
I'll try not to.
Everybody enjoy your long weekend. Please be safe. There's going to be a lot of people on the road, a lot of kids on bikes and scooters. The advocates remind you, slow down, keep your eyes out, respect our friends on two wheels, respect the kids between the cars, and if the worst happens, get to the advocates.com. Enjoy the games.
go.
Ready for some football. Say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.